Okay, I'm back with another project. It's actually a really small project. It's a mini bike. This is a Monster Moto 80cc. It's 2.5 horsepower motor, 4-stroke. We got 3 of them for a really good deal, me and my buddies, and pretty much paid about $100 a piece for them. So we got the 3 bikes. One of them was running in no time. The other one, I tried getting mine running. It wasn't doing anything. I sprayed carb cleaner down and it wouldn't even fire on that. My friend's bike, it needed a little bit of work, so we sprayed carb cleaner down it. It fired up, ran for a second, and died out. So I knew it was a fuel issue. So I knew his bike was closer to running, so I decided to clean out the carb and the jet. So I went to walk over to grab a torch cleaning kit. I was doing this outside, and to poke the jet and clean it out. But I dropped the jet, couldn't find it, so I decided to pull the jet out of my bike because his was closer to running, and I lost his jet, so it was only fair. So I got his bike running a couple minutes after that with my jet. Mine, I couldn't even get it to spark, and I was playing with it, and just turned out the spark plug was just that beat, and the jet was dirty, so I couldn't get anything going. So I brought it home, left it alone. This spark plug, I actually had a brand new one laying around. It's actually the head of it threads right in there. It's the same size, but the nut on there is one size bigger, and I had to tighten in there with a wrench. I couldn't get a socket over it. And then I ordered a whole nother carburetor off Amazon for like $8.99, and I just 2-day shipped it. It was like $20 altogether. So got it running. I just wanted to test drive it beforehand, and going downhill, it's fast. It'll do 25. I had it on the GPS on my phone. It takes a very long time to get there. Me being 200 pounds, it doesn't come up on the clutch or the converter fast enough, so you need to kick a little bit and get it going. There's just not enough torque to get the weight moving. So here's the project. We're gonna big block swap it. We got a Harbor Freight Predator 212. I had one of these in a drift trike I built. They work pretty good. And then I got some race oil. Put that off to the side. And I decided that might not be enough, so we got a pipe. A heavy duty clutch for the right size shaft on there. This clutch is too small. We got an air filter kit, a jet kit, and I could probably make it work and everything like that, but I don't want to wait for parts and stuff like that, so I decided to order extra stuff I might not need. So, chain and a master link and a motor plate. If I can't get that motor plate to work with drilling it and slotting it, plasma in it, I'm just going to save this motor for another project. I might put it in a bicycle or something like that, but we're going to put this motor in there, turn this motor up, and if it's still not fast enough, we're going to pull the governor out. And then we have 3 identical bikes. The one that was running first is a little quicker than the other one, but he might turn that one up with the stock motor. Turn that stock motor up. My other buddy, he's gonna probably swap to just a 6.5 and eventually jet it. And then we're gonna have 3 different ones. We're gonna have a 3-way like showdown maybe here, and we're gonna see what's going on. So I'm gonna get this up on the table, heave this motor out of there, try and shove that one in. Okay. Got her up on the table, right next to my toolbox. I should have everything to do this, so let's start the disassembly here. Okay, unplug that. That's just unpinned, and then that was a 7mm bolt. Pulled that out of there. I'm gonna clean that up. Now I'm gonna see if this is where the motor bolted. Here, in here. I'm gonna unbox that motor, and we're gonna see if she slides right in there, and what I'm gonna need to do to get her to fit. What was pretty cool though, there's this thing. So basically, to put more tension on the chain, you would just loosen the 4 bolts, don't take them out, and then there's a little eyelet, it's hooked to one of the bolts, and you would just tighten that or loosen it, and that would slide the motor back and forth. Then you would tighten the motor down and then lock that down. So that was a pretty cool little feature. I also like this little idler roller in there. I think this is 75 tooth, and if I did the math, and there's 12 tooth on the front, this thing at 3,500 RPM should be able to do like 25 miles an hour. If I turn the governor up, it should do more. It's fast enough. I'm just worried about how fast I get there. I forgot to mention I got all those parts here from powersports.com. This video is not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor me ever, you can find me. We can do some work together, play with some toys. But this is how she comes, Predator motor. Let's pull her out of there and try to slide her in the bike. This is the exhaust. We're not going to need that, and we're not going to need that ugly airbox either. Well, I got him here. Predator 212, 80 cc's of Chinese Fury here. Let's put that in. So we're going to rip this muffler off of there, and we're probably going to do some cutting on the fender or remove it and then put it in later and see what happens. So I pulled this off, two 13mm nuts, turned it over. I don't know if it's carbon or not. Kind of looks like it was run before. Maybe it's paint. Well, we'll just save that gasket off to the side. Kick that off of there. Not gonna need it where we're going. Yep, that's gonna look pretty sick. Okay, so I got the clutch on there and I lined the chain up. Give it a good eyeball alignment to see where it needed to be. And it appears that these bolt holes will match there, but the carburetor is hitting the frame right about here. So there's two options. Option one, cut the frame here and here, rework something in there. It might look like crap. Option two, probably gusset these somehow, slot this, take the center bar out, because we got to be able to have the motor move forwards and backwards here. But I don't know if you can see it. This part's still going to need to be there, and it's not going to give us much of adjustment before it hits the front pull start case. So I'm at a little bit of a dilemma here. That way would work the best, but it would look less nice. This way would work, but only to so far. I cut the motor plate, and I just kept cutting until I got it to how I wanted it. And then I burned it in. I just welded it. But I'm having some clearance issues about sliding it forward and this and that. So basically how I'd recommend you do, and this is how I'm going to do it on the next one. I'm going to use my motor plate. This is, the bolt holes are, these ones will line up here, and here will line up. This needs to get slotted out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slot that out. We're going to swap a second one of these for my friend. So I'm going to cut his motor plate out. Okay, and then this was ready to be, I'm going to bolt this to his motor. I'm going to put this motor plate in where that one was, because you're going to have to cut the motor plate and slide it to the driver, to the passenger side, or the right side, basically. And basically I'm going to bolt this to his motor, because you're going to have to cut the motor plate there and there and slide it over to get the chain to line up. So basically that's how I'm going to do the next one. This already had the motor plate, I figured why not use it. So basically I just lined it up, and I picked the back end up and I spun the chain around until it looked like it was straight. So now I slid it back as far as I could so I can use the factory chain, which I'm gonna do. But I cut the frame out. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna box this and box this. It's gonna be the nicest way to get this done, I feel like. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the nicest way to get it done. If I didn't, it was just gonna, the carb's gonna be hitting the thing. I'm gonna end up breaking the carb, or something's gonna be rattling. I'm not gonna like it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get everything lined up, and then I'm gonna mock something up and weld that in. Okay, so this is where I think I'm leaving off, and then I just spray painted this, but I welded in this flat piece of metal here, and then I just bent a little elbow there. Should be good enough. If not, we'll address it later, but it's not the prettiest, but once the motor's in there, you'll never even tell, and just a mini bike. But the motor's a little bit bigger than what came in there, and I don't feel like this is the fastest, easiest way for me to do it without re-engineering the whole thing. So I also peeled some stickers off of there. Maybe I'll put some numbers on it or something else there, but I'm going to be able to use the factory chain.
And on this installment of
swapping a Monster Moto
Garage,
Monster Moto mini bike, cut the plate off here, slotted it, made new holes here and slotted those as well for the Predator motor, and we slid the whole plate over, and right now it's just tacked in. And we're just going to burn it in and then shove that motor back in, get the throttle and the chain hooked up.
So Dominic, why don't you explain to us a little about the welder that you're using today?
Well, it's my new Iron Man 230. It's my Chinesium junk box Eastwood broke on me. It's balled out. Spent $1,600 on this. Which will last forever now. Chad, can you grab the wire brush out of that welding drill?
And his shop assistant. Welcome back, guys, and welcome to Big D's Garage. On today's installment, I'm going to be showing you guys all about the Moto Mini 80s swapped with a Predator 212. So on this one here, we swapped the motor plate. We're able to sit the motor back a little farther, and we're able to retain the factory chain. This also has a Go Powersports Stage 1. Includes the intake and the exhaust header. Also includes a bigger jet. Here we got the Monster Moto 80 Girls Edition. Also 212s whopped. And on this one, factory mounting plate. So we had to add a couple links to the chain. This one also has the Go Powersports Stage 1. And this one right here is mine personally, Billy's Moto X80. I like to call it Death Proof. Let's get you a shot of that. Death Proof. Some of that. And this one's getting 212 swapped at the moment. Retaining the factory motor plate.
Just slid over a little bit.
Slid over a little bit, notched.
Notched for the new holes.
Plans for this one right now is keep it stock. I'm going to go with an OMB Warehouse Stage 1 kit. Bigger valve springs, full exhaust, and intake as well.
Simple, stupid. Yeah, we're a little 1 bolt short, I think.
Can't retain the factory bolts.
We could, but grade 8 or no 8.
I'm just saying, 3's better than 2.
This is true.
4 is overachieving.
We could use 1 factory bolt.
Yeah. I mean, 3 grade 8 and 1 grade nothing.
Chinesium bolt.
3 grade 8s to me is a grade 24. That's quick maps, right?
That's maps.
That's quick maps.
It's all maps.
Oh shit, I have. That is quick map though. Oh, another thing that I left out. Here we have the non-Hemi version of the Predator 212. Now if I take you over here, this bike is the 212 Hemi, for all you Mopar fans out there. And this one's also non-Hemi.
Just one Mopar fan, that's it.
First pull. Show us what we got there, Dom.
I put 2 master links, and this is the old chain off of, I think, my bike or Travis's bike. There's a master link there, and right here and here. We just needed 3 extra links. I had another length of chain, but I can't find it. So now we're gonna push the motor forward, tension it.
You should put the chain on the sprocket first.
There's no sprocket. Ooh. I fucked that up.
Oh, that's awkward. Oh, dang, bud.
Pick it up.
Pick it up.
Wrong way you're spinning it.
That's actually tension pretty fucking good, but
Somebody please support this man's GoFundMe so we can get him a new hoodie. He's been wearing this hoodie for
as long as we've known him.
as long as he's been alive almost. Can't afford another one.
It's good.
He actually grew into it.
It's my good one.
Those are growth holes.
This is the most. It's broken in.
It's broken in. This is my Ocean City one's broken in nice too. See what I like about this hoodie?
That's a 5X
You don't get
though.
you don't get
Delicious.
I don't care for white pizza.
White pizza with broccoli on
Kidding
it?
me right now?
I'm over
You don't
white
remember
pizza.
white pizza from Nino's and the garlic nuts?
The garlic nuts was
Yeah, they were.
banging.
Yeah, hold this wrench for me.
Well, that runs from
I'm
Dom.
holding the bike. I'm tensioning the motor.
Nah, it's tension. Hold this fucking wrench. Why would you make this the awkwardest thing possible?
It's awkward. It's awkward.
I feel your body heat, my guy.
It's awkward if I did this.
This.
Travis gets his boxers at that American Eagle.
What? Alright, we're gonna throw the muffler on, but you can see the stock muffler. The gasket's on here right now, but you could probably port match that muffler out.
Make me a pipe real quick.
Well, we could make you a pipe, but you don't have the jet for it.
You got a drill bit?
But we could probably port that out to match the gasket flange, but we're just gonna throw this on for right now. Until we get the stage 1 kit for this one.
Thought we were gonna make a pipe.
We could make a pipe, but I don't know how good it's gonna run.
Yeah, let's just run stock
It's
muffs.
kind of a commitment.
Because then if it runs like shit, and I don't have the money for the stage 1 right now.
Oh yeah, but we have my old jet that we can drill out, and we have my old exhaust flange we can cut off.
Allegedly.
Dominic threw it away.
Allegedly.
What?
He threw it away.
I don't know. I don't know where anything is anymore.
Probably in the fucking grass in the backyard. Jesus Christ, bro.
We got everything on this side hooked up here. Motor is welded, plate's welded in, clutch is on, chain's on, tensioned. That should be fine. Muffler's on, we're gonna spin it around. Get the throttle link working, disable the governor, and it should be time to let her eat. Like two different ways so far. We're just figuring out which method works best. We're gonna take this stupid screw out over here. It's junk. You don't need that. You need better throttle feel, weight reduction. I don't know where that went. All right, so we're gonna rip the gas tank off here.
Allegedly.
No, we're definitely gonna do it.
This non-copperation sucks.
You just ripped this governor crap off of here. Make sure you save this spring.
Show them where the spring goes, bud.
We're gonna connect that into here. We're gonna put this underneath the gas tank stud. The stud's here. We're gonna hook it on there and just gonna bolt in like that. And this is gonna pull this back. And you see that's throttle linkage. So right now we're trying to figure out, on ours we straightened the cable and we ran it to here. And I think it's gonna work. It's gonna be cutting it close. Did that from Ace. This is what comes in there. We're gonna put the cable It's not gonna work? I think it'll work. Just play with it a little bit more. So we're gonna put the cable in here. We're gonna loop it through the end, come out this end, and just gonna crimp that, and that'll hold the cable. Oh. We got the motor in there, got the air filter on. It's hitting the frame right here. Instead of notching it, we just cranked her down. There's oil in it. We're gonna throw some gas in there. It's gonna get its first start. But everything's connected. We just zip tied some shit out of the way. Throttle cable's up over here. What we ended up doing is putting it through here. There's a little cable clip there, and then the governor spring is going right to this bolt here. And everything's working so far. Okay.
Thanks.
So switch on, gas on, choke on. Back up a little.
Back up, Terry!
Pick the back up.
Dude goes full throttle.
Okay, just finishing up here on the mini bikes. We finished swapping one yesterday, so there's two here. My other buddy took his home, but this one here is mine. For some reason, with stage 1 kit, it keeps stalling, and it'll start back up again, but it runs weird. So I cleaned the carb, and that seemed to help. But before I did that, I thought maybe the low oil level sensor was the culprit here, because it seemed like every time I hit it hard it would just kind of get all wonky. So I unplugged that, and then there's a little box there. I undid that, and then what's great is the factory kill switch here has one wire with a bullet connector like that, and then the other one's a ground. So I just took the ground and I put it there, and all it does is ground out the magneto, and then it just went right into these connectors and just taped it up. Did that on all of them. So now there's a kill switch on the motor and up on the handlebar, and that works pretty good. But we played with it a lot. I tried drilling a jet out, and it was running weird too. It's very fast, it's torquey. Seems to be one of the quicker ones out of the three here. But like I said, it still runs a little weird. I took the vent off the gas tank, and that almost seemed to help. I don't know, maybe I'm making it up, but I need to get it nice and hot and see what happens with it. I think it might be fixed. Maybe I just need to play around with different size jets. This one here is a Hemi Predator, and it's working. It worked flawlessly. We went on a little rip and he didn't have any issues. Mine's similar, except mine had these filters. He never bought them. He didn't care. And his is a Hemi, so maybe that's the issue. If not, I don't know. But like I said, the easiest way to do this is cut this whole plate out entirely, slot the further two holes, and then those line up with the motor, and then just cut new holes here and here, and then just slot those with the angle grinder and just line the chain up, put the clutch on, line the chain up here, the back sprocket so it's nice and straight, bolt the motor to the plate, and then just line the whole plate inside the frame of the bike, and then just tack weld it. I'll take the motor out, burn it in, and then you got a motor. It's slightly off-centered, but that's how it's got to be. It doesn't ride any weird. The most important part is lining that chain up, and these things rip. That's the end of the mini bike series for now. There might be some riding videos, but that's pretty much swapping the Predator motor into one of these monster Moto 80s. We did 3 of them. There's clips from each room here. Hopefully there's enough information here to help somebody and a little bit of entertainment. So like the video, comment, subscribe. Thanks.
What are you guys always laughing at?
To give the head nod. I'm a professional auto parts specialist.
I paint airplanes.
Deliver soda. Plain airplanes.
I do.
Like airplane parts.
Same thing.
Ish.
Oh, nigga.
Airplane-ish.
Describes my job.
He's actually not allowed to talk about it. No, I have to edit that out of the video.
Government shit. That's what a government official looks like.